Show. Good afternoon. Today is April 17th, 2020. I'm Chris McCoy, and I'm joined today with Dr. Bunio from Cherokee Indian Hospital. Dr. Bunio, welcome back. We're going to walk through today the COVID-19 daily test count chart that has been created by our public health programs, including the hospital and public health and human services, to kind of look at the different columns, and it's been updated. It's color-coded now, and it's got some new information on it. So where should we begin with this? I'm going to hold it up a little bit.
Yeah, well, I hope. Thanks for having me, Chris.
Yeah.
And hopefully the viewers can see this. So this sort of summarizes all the tests that we've been doing and the results that we've been getting back. Okay. So if you want to go through it line by line, we'll do that and just talk a little bit about each category.
Absolutely. And what I'll do is I'll hold it up here, and we can use my camera if we want to cut into it so that we can talk about each of the pieces.
Okay. So total tests since we started in March 1st is 511. That's the box on the far left.
Okay.
Of those that we've gotten back so far, we've got 318 results that have been negative for the coronavirus. We've had 2 positive results that were within this area, and 1 positive result for a non-North Carolina resident.
Okay.
That person has subsequently left the area. Then we got something new, and I think we're going to talk about this a little bit. We got 3 presumptive positives.
Okay.
And just that last column, we're still waiting results on about 187 of these tests. But
okay, so let's talk a little bit about the presumptive positives real quick. What exactly does presumptive positive mean?
Well, it's kind of in the name. It's presumed that these are positive, but they're not definite. So this actually came as a bit of a surprise to us when we got this result back from the Quest lab that we use. When we do the test on people, we're looking for the virus. And Quest uses 2 different types of tests, and one of them came back negative, the one for COVID, but one came back positive for the family of viruses that the COVID virus is in.
Gotcha.
So I called the lab and we talked to them, and they said, well, this is probably a positive, but we can't tell you for sure 100%.
Okay. So what happens when you hear that? When you hear, well, it's something related. Yeah. How do you handle that?
Well, so first of all, we asked Quest what to do, and they advised us to just contact the state, which we did.
Okay.
And so Quest's opinion is there is no other coronaviruses in this area right now, so it's probably the COVID. Contacted the state, and they said, well, they don't know for sure. You know, you can try retesting someone, or maybe you can try to confirm this later with an antibody test.
Gotcha.
And so we have decided, out of an abundance of caution, to treat these presumptive positives just the same as a positive right now. Notifying the contacts, we're trying to get them in, we're testing them, and because missing one is going to be far more dangerous for this community than, you know, doing all that work for someone who is maybe negative.
Okay.
We do know that the antibody tests are coming. We're hoping that we'll get them, you know, within a couple of weeks, and that should really clear the air about these particular cases.
Now, folks that have tested presumptive positive, we're doing everything the same. We're doing the contact tracing, and that'll help us to really understand more about whether or not those are positive cases for sure. But either way, we're treating it as positive. Is that correct?
That's what we're doing right now.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we were talking earlier. I said, you know, I could run a test on you every day.
Right.
I could stick that swab in your nose. I don't know if you want to volunteer for that, but
not really.
I could do it to you every day, and sooner or later that test is going to come back negative. Your body's going to clear the virus.
I got you.
That test's going to be negative. So we don't know if these presumptive positives had the virus a while ago and they're starting to clear it, or possibly this could be, you know, one of these false positives that we hear about.
But we'll know more as time goes on, and you're able to get to maybe an antibody test and see if that was in this individual. Okay,
yep, that's right.
Well, it's good. I'm glad we split this out. Hopefully, it makes it easier for the community to understand what's happening here. And as these numbers are updated, we'll have to come back and explain that some more to the public, I'm sure. But everything looks pretty good, and we'll just continue to remind people and urge people to come out and be tested. That's still happening.
Yeah, we're getting a good response on that. In fact, we're getting such a good response that next week we may want to just take a step back and see where we're at.
At this point, we're trying to get an individual from each kind of circle, right? Is that kind of the idea?
Yeah, we're trying to get a sampling from the community, and that's why we've recommended that, if possible, we just do one per household so that we can preserve the tests that we have.
And I know, again, I've read a lot of reviews and testimonials from folks online on their social media. It sounds like the test isn't really that bad. I know we joke about, it's a big swab. It's gonna, it's gonna hurt. It doesn't, right? It's a few seconds of swabbing in each nostril.
That's right. Actually, just one.
One nostril?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's just takes a few seconds. I can't say it's enjoyable, but it's not that bad.
No, people are just saying your eyes water a little bit, but it's really not that bad for what you're gaining for us to be able to trace this.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, great. Well, great. Thanks for coming on today and talking about this and updating the public with these. Again, let's look at the numbers here. These are getting ready to go out on the social media and on all the platforms so that folks can get an update of how many tests we've taken and gotten back. Again, the presumptive positives are simply tests that had tested positive on one of the two tests, and we're treating them as positives until we know more about it, and that's just the safe thing to do right now. So.
Yeah, and just one more thing before we go, Chris.
Yeah.
The state is not going to count these.
Okay.
So when you look at numbers from Jackson County or Swain County, some of the counties have decided, they're not going to count them until we prove 100%.
Oh, okay.
But we're being extra cautious. So our numbers may be a little bit off from the state, but again, that's just because we're being extra.
We're probably in a good way.
Yep, absolutely.
Good. Okay. Well, thanks. If you guys have any questions at home, please don't hesitate to call the COVID-19 hotline. Post your questions on our Facebook, and we'll get to them as soon as we can. Thank you very much, and have a good day. Dada Dagahunya.